The restoration. So this is the restoration topic, part 2. Okay, so taking liberties. Meanwhile, however, Charles was quietly clawing back some of the religious freedoms he had promised, introducing measures restricted the freedoms of nonconformists and especially Protestants. Okay, it was the return of the monarch. Charles rode through London on the eve of his coronation in 1661. The restoration of the monarchy was the restoration of pomp and splendor, a dash of much craved color for a country sunk in drabness. The Merry Monarch. They called him the Merry Monarch, but the glint in his eye was not just of lust. Charles had a steel side and the absolute inclinations of his Stuart forebears. England was led into conflict with the Dutch, hence the Second Anglo-Dutch War in 1665-1667. However, there were fears that Charles was too outward-looking. His marriage to the Portuguese and Catholic Catherine of Braganza hardly had a secret treaty. Charles went too far for Parliament when he made his Declaration of Indulgence in 1672, offering religious toleration to nonconformists. Parliament was furious, guessing that his real aim was to ease the situation of Catholics. They would have been more enraged still had they been aware of the secret treaty Charles had made with Louis XIV at Dover in 1670. Stating his long-term intention of embracing Catholicism and re-establishing it as a state religion. He also committed himself to an alliance with France against the Dutch Republic in return for lavish payments. Okay, Charles went to war without involving Parliament, but the Third Anglo-Dutch War proved far more expensive than anticipated. Louis Grants did not begin to cover the costs. The Dutch refused to be defeated, and Charles had to recall Parliament to introduce new taxes. Anxiety became hysterical when news broke of King's brother James' conversion to Catholicism. Charles' officials stated that disapproval chaos signified. Given his lack of legitimate children, the crown would go to James. In 1679, 1680 and 1681, MPs brought in an exclusion bill to cut James out of the succession, but Charles dissolved Parliament before it could be passed. Okay, so Parliament was dissolved. What could he make? What could he do in such a case? Such a restoration was never seen the mention of any history, ancient and modern. This was said by John Evelyn Diarist in 1660.